Good morning, everyone. It could be afternoon, evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Dane Waters with another installment of the Elephant Times, and I'll be the first to admit that the previous recordings have been more kind of academic type. But starting today and starting on this episode, we're going to get a little bit more livelier and talk about things in a more normal tone, as I'd like to say. So today's discussion is real quick. It's about Donald Trump and the Trump administration. Now, listen, this is people are thinking, okay, why are you picking on Donald Trump? No more anti-Trump or pro-Trump or anything. Well, listen, this is not an anti-Trump piece. This is about the protection of elephants, and it's important to note that regardless of the administration, whether it's Republican or Democrat or Independent, the discussion would be the same. So here's the deal. When Donald Trump became president, he reversed the ban on the import of elephant trophies. Now, some people would argue, you can't. Why is that a problem? Well, what's happened is that, with these countries in Africa and other parts of the world, primarily Africa, though, that have put bans on the hunting of elephants, a lot of that had to do with the fact of a lack of market. And once the administration put in place the ban on the import of elephant trophies, I should say, the Obama administration. Many African countries realized, okay, there's not really a market for the hunting of elephants, and so why lift the ban? However, Donald Trump's lifting of the import, the ban on the import of elephant trophies, basically gave some hope to these African countries that there was a way to make money off the hunting of elephants. But that just wasn't the only issue. The other issue was the establishment of the IWCC, the International Wildlife Conservation Council, now at the U.S. Department of Interior, I should say, set up by Department of Interior Secretary Ryan Zinke while he was there. A lot of people think, okay, the International Wildlife Conservation Council, that sounds okay, how could it be bad? Well, the reality is that the International Wildlife Conservation Council, its mandate is to promote, conservation of animals through their hunting, and primarily to promote the hunting of animals like elephants. Now, when you have the Trump administration or any presidential administration supporting the hunting and killing of elephants, that coupled with the overturning of the ban on elephant trophies, listen, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to realize that what that means, that 1-2 punch means that it is okay for trophy hunters to go to Africa, hunt and kill elephants, and knowing that they can get them back into the country. So that's the problem. It has nothing to do with Donald Trump per se. It has something to do with the Trump administration. And Donald Trump, through executive order, his executive order powers, has the ability to change that and to put in place the ban on elephant trophies being brought into the United States. So that's our issue. Okay, it's not anti-Donald Trump. It's anti-administration, and it's because we are committed. The Elephant Project, along with hundreds of other organizations around the world, are committed to the protection of elephants. And we also believe that the hunting of elephants is not a conservation tool. That study after study shows that ecotourism, based on watching elephants in the wild, in their national habitat, is of greater economic benefit to countries than killing elephants. Now, we can have a whole episode, and maybe we will have a whole episode on that issue itself. But this podcast is basically about awareness, raising awareness that what Donald Trump is doing in the Trump administration needs to be stopped. Now, here are the ways that can happen. One, Donald Trump could put in place, replace, or put back in place, I should say, the ban on the import of elephant trophies. That's number one. And he could disband the International Wildlife Conservation Council at the U.S. Department of Interior. Or, at a minimum, he can put in place or put on that council people who have experience in elephant conservation. Because, listen, if you look at the list of members now on that council, they're all hunters. And first, I have to say, I'm not opposed to hunting for sustenance reasons. I want to be very clear about that. But these are people who hunt wildlife like elephants and believe that it's okay. These are people who believe that the killing of any animal, even if they're endangered and imperiled, is an okay thing. So what would be beneficial to the International Wildlife Conservation Council is to put people who understand the impact and the benefit of ecotourism and how protecting elephants and other animals by extension, would be beneficial to host government. So those are the two things he could do. Now, sadly, I don't think he's going to be doing it. The Elephant Project, we filed a FOIA request, a Freedom of Information request, 19 months ago, asking that they turn over documents about how this IWCC came into place. Now, it's important to also note that one of our concerns is that Donald Trump Jr. was involved in pushing the establishment of this council because he is a big elephant hunter, and the question is, did he do it for his own personal benefit because he wanted to do it? And that's what we want to find out. But for 19 months, the Department of Interior has refused our FOIA request. And so now's the time they're going to have to take additional action. We're going to have to file by other legal means, push for the FOIA request. But we also recognize that really the only way to address this issue is through congressional action, because Congress has the authority to put in place the ban again, and also to push the Department of Interior to turn over the FOIA documents. Now, listen, one thing I've learned is that nothing we say, nothing we do is going to make everyone happy. There are those people who think that it's a waste of time to get Congress to request the Department of Interior to turn over records, since some of the other departments are even ignoring subpoenas from Congress. But here's the thing: we must try. It's important that we try, and sometimes we'll succeed, sometimes we'll fail, and that's the important thing that we must remember, that this is not an easy task. And so, the Elephant Project, we are trying to do our best to push for the resolution of this issue. And with your support, we can be very successful, I'm certain. So, that's our first podcast in a more normal format, I should say. I hope you will visit theelephantproject.net. Go to theelephantproject.net. You can learn more about this. And also visit the Elephant Times, and you can hear the other podcasts that I've done, and I have to admit they're not the most entertaining in the world, but from this moment on, I hope that you'll find them more entertaining. Anyway, thanks for your time, and have a great day.